Judas was one of the 12 disciples chosen by Jesus Christ to follow him during his ministry on earth. Despite his privileged position, Judas is most famously remembered for betraying Jesus, which ultimately led to Christ's crucifixion. Judas Iscariot was a follower of Jesus, part of his inner circle. He witnessed many of Jesus' miracles, teachings, and acts of compassion firsthand. Like the other disciples, Judas was sent out by Jesus to preach the gospel, heal the sick, and cast out demons. Despite these experiences, Judas harbored a secret greed that would lead to his downfall. Judas was also entrusted with the group's finances, acting as their treasurer. However, the Bible reveals that he often helped himself to the money, showing early signs of his corrupt nature. As Jesus' ministry progressed, opposition to him grew, particularly from the religious leaders. They wanted to arrest Jesus but feared doing so in public because of his popularity. Judas saw an opportunity to betray Jesus for money. He went to the chief priests and offered to hand Jesus over to them in exchange for 30 pieces of silver, a price prophesied in the Old Testament. Zechariah 11:12, 13. In Matthew 26:14, 16, Judas asked the chief priests, "What are you willing to give me if I deliver him over to you?" They agreed to pay him 30 silver coins, and from that moment, Judas looked for an opportunity to betray Jesus. At the Last Supper, Jesus shared a final meal with his disciples. During this meal, he revealed that one of them would betray him. The disciples were troubled and began to ask who it could be. Jesus subtly indicated that it was Judas by saying, "The one who dips his hand into the bowl with me will betray me." Jesus then turned to Judas and told him, "What you are about to do quickly." Judas left the supper to carry out his betrayal. Later that night, Jesus went to the Garden of Gethsemane to pray. Judas knew this would be an opportune moment to deliver Jesus to the authorities. He led a group of soldiers and officials from the chief priest to the garden. To signal Jesus' identity to the soldiers, Judas arranged to greet him with a kiss, a common gesture of respect. When Judas approached Jesus, he said, "Greetings, Rabbi," and kissed him. Jesus responded, "Do what you came for, friend." At that moment, the soldiers arrested Jesus, and he was taken away for trial. After Jesus was condemned to death, Judas was filled with remorse. He realized the gravity of what he had done and was overwhelmed with guilt. He returned the 30 pieces of silver to the chief priests and elders, saying, "I have sinned, for I have betrayed innocent blood." The priests, however, were indifferent to his guilt, telling him, "What is that to us? That's your responsibility." In his despair, Judas threw the silver into the temple and went out and hanged himself. The priests used the money to buy a field, which became known as the Field of Blood, fulfilling another prophecy. Judas Iscariot is remembered as the disciple who betrayed Jesus, despite having walked closely with him. His betrayal is a tragic reminder of the dangers of greed and the consequences of turning away from the truth. Judas had every opportunity to repent and seek forgiveness, but instead, he chose despair. Judas's betrayal also fulfilled the scriptures and set in motion the events leading to Jesus' crucifixion and ultimate resurrection, which became the foundation of Christian faith.